So making a garden bed shouldn't have to be tough, and this isn't. So here's a quick and easy way to make a garden bed. I had a old wood pile that I wasn't really burning the wood for, so I decided to make a bed out of it, and I'll put in a little photo. I have another bed that I've done the same thing, and it's worked out really well. What did I do to prep the area? I don't know if you can see here, but there are about 4 layers of cardboard. Cardboard is great. It chokes out the weeds and it breaks down. In about a season, it's gonna be gone. It's gonna be broken down. Worms love it, and at that point, it is just going to still do its job because there's still mass above it to keep all the weeds out, but also just kind of, it's better than plastic. It's better than weed block material in my mind, and this was going to get thrown away, so it's cheaper and reused. On this particular bed, because we're going to do it's going to be fairly shallow. We probably have about a foot of depth. Of course, there's soil down underneath this, so before it gets, there's a couple of feet of soil in here, and the soil in my area is not great. It's kind of clayey, so I'm going to put some straw on the top here over the cardboard, and then I'm going to put a layer of just total compost. Then on top of that, I'm going to do that method I've shown, making your own soil with a vermiculite peat moss compost mixture for the top, about 6 inches, just for, that will be building of the nicer soil over time. So the take-home message with this, making a bed shouldn't be difficult. I use a lot of beds out of scrap wood, stuff I would throw away. If it's strong enough to hold itself together in some way, it doesn't even have to be holding it that. You can even use, if you had enough space, you could just make a big pile of dirt and flatten off the top. I should have said soil. I meant soil. So you can just flatten it off. The pieces of wood here are basically going to act as a little bit of a erosion control on the edges. So yeah, you can stack up rocks, you can stack up anything, bricks, if you have something and you're thinking about throwing it away, think if you can make something out of it to plant in. And it's nice to pick some stuff that you have that looks better, but some of our earth bag beds don't look that great, but we're going to plaster them later, and you could do the same thing with this. You could do earth and plaster over the top of this wood if you really wanted to, but it's all a natural material that will end up breaking down over time and should make a real good spot to grow some stuff. Well, that didn't really take all that long to throw this together with a couple of us on a couple wheelbarrows and some compost. What do you think about how it came together?
Yeah, I think this was really quick. I mean, it took maybe about a half hour to gather up the logs and place them. And I think in total we got about a half to about 3/4 of a cubic yard of compost in the bed here, and we've got rooting depth to probably about 8 inches now, where we previously didn't have it. So above ground planting beds are certainly accessible if you live in an area with poor soils or dense clay soils. Really not too hard to look around and find some materials and construct something like this at relatively low cost. A yard of compost from our local material handlers is $39.50, so about $40 we have into this so far, plus a little bit of peat peat moss and vermiculite for extra aeration.
Yeah, and on this one, versus making like a third mix, this just has a little top dressing of peat moss and vermiculite, because this compost is pretty dang light and fluffy.
Very fluffy for our roots to grow into.
Yeah, so quick and easy bed, make it out of anything you have laying around, and then grow some stuff.
Get growing. Sorry, I should have taken off my glove too.